Hello, hello, hello. My name is Jean DuBois. I am a Christian counselor and I do YouTube videos on anger, anxiety, grief, and SOG. SOG stands for Stuck on Go. I do YouTube videos to help individuals that are stuck, that are stagnated, that they have every green light to go, but for some reason they can't seem to go. They are stuck in various ways to get stuck. So I encourage them that you're not the only one, but and also you don't have to stay stuck. So the videos are to encourage and inspire people to live the purpose-driven life, as Rick Warren says. Now today's video is about conflict. Conflict. We all have had a conflict, whether it's in elementary school, pre-K, all the way up until now. We've had conflict. Now, what is a conflict? A conflict is a battle or struggle that we have. Who have we had conflict with? You can have conflict with yourself, one. You can have conflict with other people, with two. You can have conflicts with the environment, three. And you can have a conflict with God. So we can have conflicts going on. We have to examine ourselves and see which one do we have. Now, Jesus knew we were going to have conflicts. If you look at Matthew chapter 12, verses 51 and 52, Jesus talks about conflict. I'm paraphrasing this. He said he didn't come to bring unity, but conflict. There'll be five in one house, three against two, two against three. The husband against the wife, the mother-in-law against the daughter-in-law, the mother against the daughter against the mother, the father against the son against the daughter. There'll be conflicts. So be prepared for it. Don't be shocked when the conflict comes up. What God cares about is how we handle the conflict. Do we handle it with the mind of Christ, or we just handle it with a carnal mind? So how do we handle the conflict? If you have a conflict with God, that's okay. God can handle that. The environmental conflict is one where you may be at work, you have set principles, morals that you follow, and the environment at work is totally works against all that, which causes you to be at conflict with the work environment. So we can have conflict in all those areas. What triggers a conflict? I'm going to share three things with you that triggers a conflict. The economists say money triggers a conflict. And if you think back, the people that have conflict, money may have had a lot to do with most of the conflict that was going on. So the economy says money. The biologist says fear. Now, fear, as a counselor, I find that fear is normally at the root of most problems that people have. So yes, I agree. Fear can cause conflict. Fear of abandonment, fear of failure, fear of losing your job, fear of people not liking you or loving you, fear of not having enough, fear of sickness. Just so many fears can cause conflict. And then thirdly, the psychologist says that uncertainty causes conflict. And that's true too. If you don't feel secure, you are unsafe in your environment, you are unsafe where you go, you don't feel secure, you feel vulnerable, you're secure, you can have conflict there. I went to a workshop one time and it was saying that women, one of the women's biggest things, women like security. So if you don't feel secure, the money is not coming in or the job is not there, you have a tendency to feel uncertain, and that can cause a conflict. You may voice that conflict, how you voice it. So those are things that can trigger a conflict. Money, fear, and uncertainty and vulnerability. Vulnerability and uncertainty go together. So it can cause a conflict. Now, we have the conflict. We know that they come. They can be expected. How do we handle the conflict? How do we resolve conflict? A lot of ways to resolve a conflict is communication, good communication. Because most time the conflict started with poor communication. But with good communication, we can resolve the conflict. So we need good communication to resolve it. We need to be clear, concise, and complete in our communication and communicating what the problem is. We need to set boundaries to resolve this conflict. Boundaries make sure that each person is respected and each person is heard. So we set boundaries will help resolve the conflict. Now, if we still can't resolve the conflict between you and the other party or the group of people, call in a third party. Don't feel ashamed. Call in a third party. And the third party will help you navigate over the emotions of the conflict, the anger, the rage. The third party will help you in that area. So we call a third party. That can be helpful. And another thing, the conflict, resolving conflicts, don't take things personally. I get that from the 5 agreements. And one of them is don't take things personally. You may have been how you proceed or your perception of the situation. So don't take it personally. And that'll help solve a lot of conflict. Okay, I ran through those really quickly, but I think it was quick enough, easy enough that you can remember. God knows there are going to be conflicts, but He wants you to be able to handle it, and He's equipped you to handle it. You have your word. So we resolve those conflicts. So I hope something was said that helped you. Do hit the like button and make a comment. Thank you so much for that. Got something to show you. During this pandemic time and since the last video, I had an opportunity to write 2 easy to read books. This is Recidivism, and this one is about principles. And we talked about in conflicts, sometimes people don't have principles. We surrounded in an environment where people don't have principles. So this is about principles. It's an easy read. Principles that I learned as a little girl from my grandmother. I'm sharing it with you. This one is Recidivism. I do volunteer work at the jail, and we see a lot of repeated offenders coming in there. And this is a message to them. Recidivism means pattern. You have a pattern of bad behavior. You keep doing it over and over again. And I'm writing this book to encourage the ladies, don't do it again. Don't get stuck in recidivism. Don't get stuck out there acting without principles. Both these books can be found on Amazon.com. You can order them from Amazon or call me and I will package it and send it to you. Each book is $11. So give me a call. Already have it. All right, so give me a call. I'd be glad to hear from you, and I'll package and send the books to you. Take care. So glad that you join us. Hit the like button and come again. Look out for the next video. Subscribe, and you'll know when the next one is coming. Thank you so much. Have a great day from Jean. Don't get stuck.